New in the next hour of First News and happening later today. Buckle up for 2 days of the best music area high schoolers can play, where you can listen to the Raging Red Band Festival today.
Plus, a community conversation tonight, where to go to share your voice on community human rights and social justice issues.
And finally, what's better than chili and curling? We'll tell you what's in store tonight at the Grand Forks Curling Club.
And this morning, the wind maybe is hurrying hard into our area if we want to stick with the curling theme, but it will be a little bit on the breezy side out there for us for today. Not as windy as yesterday, but still a little bit of that wind to notice. And we've got a little warming trend coming up for us in the later parts of the forecast. In the meantime, still well below average for today and tomorrow. And looks like a shot at some snow over the weekend, which I'll be going over your next hour First News, which starts right now.
You're watching WDAY First News, the news leader.
New this morning on First News, as a man is being treated for multiple stab wounds this morning, police have found their guy. What WDAY discovered about the suspect and the charges he's now facing.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. It was really cool to just get an opportunity to talk with him.
President Trump gave a little something extra to former NDSU quarterback Easton Stick, the new nickname he's waking up with this morning.
And First News is taking you to the cleanup in Alabama and Georgia this morning. In minutes, our very own storm tracker meteorologist Andrew Whitmire is breaking down the weather being blamed for the worst natural disaster that region has ever seen.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 5th. It's just after 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Manch.
And I'm Sarah Redlane. And even a smidge warmer weather is something we're happy to wake up to this morning. And storm tracker meteorologist Jared Piepenberg is here to tell us if it'll stick around.
Well, today's weather will be similar to what we'll have here in the next couple of days. Meaning temperature-wise, still below average, but a little bit warmer than what we had by Sunday, and just a touch warmer than what we had yesterday. Satellite radar, really not a whole lot to show you across the region. If I move the map a little bit, notice that a little bit of cloud cover across parts of the valley into western and northern Minnesota. Maybe a couple snowflakes underneath that cloud deck. For the most part, though, should be a pretty quiet day. Just having to deal with that breeze again. It's out of the northwest and west-northwest, mainly in the teens, kind of surrounding the valley here. So just enough that it will make it feel a little bit colder. And that wind trend holds pretty steady here throughout midday into the afternoon. I think later on tonight it could back off a little bit for us. But temperatures a little bit above zero, or some of us just a little bit sub-zero, depending on where we're at. Fergus Falls right now, 2 below, 1 below Bemidji. Got 4 in Fargo, Moorhead, 6 in Grand Forks right now. And our wind chills, mainly some teens below. So it is kind of a colder start. But this afternoon, I think we're going to warm up into some teens. And I think it's kind of where we'll hold here for maybe the next couple of days or so. When I come back, though, I'm going to go check out the DOT maps again and give you an idea what it looks like out there for your travel throughout the day. It will be breezy and a little bit chilly.
Well, a series of tornadoes has left the nation speechless as Alabama continues in the cleanup. And
storm tracker meteorologist Andrew Whitmire is joining us here in studio this morning with what's left. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Rob and Sarah. Sunday was the deadliest U.S. tornado day in nearly 6 years. Now, the death toll from Sunday is the largest from tornadoes in a single day since the Moore, Oklahoma EF5 tornado killed 24 people on May 20th, 2013. And in fact, this is now the deadliest tornado year since 2017, where 35 people died from tornadoes that year, and we're only 12 away this year. Now, here's a look right now at the devastation from Alabama. The damage is catastrophic. The death toll now stands at 23 after at least a dozen tornadoes ripped through parts of Alabama and Georgia on Sunday, and that number is still sadly expected to rise. The EF4 tornado that passed through Lee County, Alabama, is believed to have brought wind speeds of 170 miles per hour, and it was about a mile wide and crossed an area of land spanning 65 miles along the way. It also picked up mobile homes and debris and threw them hundreds of yards away. It has now been officially named the worst natural disaster that has ever occurred in that area. Coming up, I'll let you know when our region typically experiences severe weather. Back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. And new this morning, the suspect arrested in connection with the Moorhead stabbing yesterday has been identified.
Police arrested this man, 27-year-old Nicholas James Herner. He's facing charges of second-degree assault. It all started when police were called out to a neighborhood just south of Ellen Hopkins Elementary after 8:30 last night. When they got there, officers found a man who had been stabbed several times. He was taken to Sanford in Fargo. Police say Herner and the victim knew each other. The victim's condition is unknown.
The House Judiciary Committee has issued demands for documents from more than 80 relatives, aides, and associates of the president. The requests include President Trump's own family members, top White House officials, and other close advisors, past and present. Organizations tied to the president are also being targeted in the probe, as well as companies and other groups that may have aided President Trump's campaign. The White House signaled that it won't be complying with the document demands, saying in a statement, quote, "The fact that Chairman Nadler would try to force the public disclosure of private conversations that he knows are protected by law proves that he only wants to play politics."
And Grand Forks police are sending out a safety reminder this morning after an 8-year-old girl was hit by a car last night.
It happened in the Little Caesars parking lot after 7 o'clock last night. Police say the girl was walking with her family when she stepped out in front of a car from between vehicles. The driver tried to avoid her but knocked her to the ground. Luckily, they were going very slow and no one was hurt and the vehicle wasn't damaged. Officers say that it is important to take your time while walking and be aware of your surroundings.
And dozens of people are in jail this morning in Sacramento, California, following protests over the shooting death of 22-year-old Stephon Clark. Authorities say more than 80 people were taken into custody after demonstrators took to the streets. Most of the arrests were for unlawful assembly. Tensions have been flaring in the community since Saturday. That's when the DA's office announced that no charges would be filed against the officers who shot and killed Clark last year. Police were responding to a 911 call about a man breaking car windows when they chased Clark into his grandmother's backyard. He was not armed.
2 men will be waking up in prison this morning for their roles in an attempted robbery that resulted in 1 man being killed. It's a story we've been following since September. 23-year-old Robert Pytal is being sentenced to 2 years in prison. 19-year-old Jordan Plouffe will spend 4 years in prison on charges of conspiring to commit robbery and terrorizing. It stems from a botched attempted robbery at a Fargo hotel this past September. During the robbery, Alan Baer stabbed 23-year-old Jacob Dirks of West Fargo. Pytal was with Baer at the time.
And people in Daisy are still looking for answers after a fire over the weekend destroyed a home. WDAY News learned from the Daisy Fire Department the fire was reported just before midnight on Friday. Firefighters had to stay on scene until about 8 the next morning. They say it took longer than usual because some of their equipment kept freezing up in the cold. Authorities are estimating about $80,000 in losses. The cause of the fire isn't known. Town is looking for some answers after one of their longtime cafes caught on fire.
The cafe and lumberyard in Kensal, North Dakota are a total loss after a fire late Friday night. Reports from News Dakota say the fire was called in just before 10:30. Crews were there until 5:30 the next morning to make sure there weren't any flare-ups. Firefighters say they're still figuring out what caused it. The state fire marshal is investigating.
And this week, House Democrats will introduce a resolution condemning anti-Semitism. It comes after Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar made more comments that leaders in her own party are calling anti-Semitic. At an event, Omar suggested supporters of Israel are pushing allegiance to a foreign country. Omar says she's simply challenging U.S. policy toward Israel. A source tells CNN the wording of the resolution has not been finalized. This will be the second time this year that the House has voted on such a measure. Last month, Republicans added similar language to a resolution after Omar linked U.S. support for Israel to money and lobbying.
Authorities are continuing to investigate why a house caught fire near Wadena. We'll tell you how many crews it took to contain those massive flames.
And it's a chilly start to your morning, but temperatures will continue to rise throughout the week. Jared will be back to break down your upcoming forecast.
Gordman's is kicking off our 2019 grand opening tour. New stores are popping up all over, and we're celebrating all month long with new trends, decor, and giveaways too. This party is where frugal meets fierce. Bigger deals, smaller prices. Hashtag got it at Gordman's.
Keep your projects moving with Masterforce Flex Power brushless power tools. Masterforce's growing line of professional cordless tools gives you power, performance, and durability for whatever you're up against. Masterforce brushless motors give you up to 10 times longer motor life, 30% more power, and 1.5 times more runtime over standard power tools. The perfect solution for getting your projects from start to finish. Masterforce. Power, performance, and durability.
Get 11% off everything, including Masterforce at Menards. Big spring bonus savings are back now for a limited time. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today and get an extra $1,000 in spring bonus savings. Don't miss out. F-150 tows and hauls more than any other truck in its class, while Super Duty gives you a monstrous best-in-class 450 max horsepower. That's why F-Series have been America's best-selling trucks 42 straight years. Now get over $10,000 in total savings or lease an F-150 for just $259 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Colonel Hankinson Historical Barn Wedding and Event Venue brings rustic charm with a beautifully restored 5,000 square foot historical barn. Located on the shores of Lake Elsie at Hankinson, the climate-controlled venue offers 2 full handicap accessible levels and sits on 5 private acres. For more information, visit colonelhankinsonbarn.net or call 701-242-7520. Colonel Hankinson Historical Barn Wedding and Event Venue. Perfect for your next wedding.
The skills you can develop in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your interests in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment that you can transfer to an exciting new field. Get a head start on your career while serving part-time and earning money to pay for college. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
Fun news, Gordman shoppers. G Rewards is now Style Circle Rewards. That's a $5 payback reward for every 100 points earned and double points for store card holders every day. And points count at Stage stores and Stage.com too. Bigger deals, smaller prices. Hashtag got it at Gordman's.
The news is brought to you by Home of Economy Grand Forks.
We're still working this morning to learn what caused a fire that destroyed the Bear Trucking building along Highway 10 over the weekend.
We now know more about what was lost in the building between Audubon and Lake Park. Trucks, tools, tires, along with all the equipment needed for the trucking company. Firefighters battled those flames in sub-zero temperatures early Saturday morning. The trucking company that also houses 3 or 4 other entities was filled with flames. Luckily, no one was inside and no one was hurt.
A law up for debate in South Dakota legislature will bring stakeholders together to study the impact of drug laws. Right now, South Dakota is one of only a handful of states where the ingestion of a controlled substance is a felony. If Senate Bill 67 passes, the bill would establish a study to examine alternatives to improve imprisonment or for drug offenders. It'll also study the fiscal impact of drug laws on state and local governments. Both the South Dakota Association of Criminal Defense Attorneys and the State's Attorneys Association supported that bill.
And officials continue to look for answers this morning after a house fire near Wadena.
A 911 call came in at 8:30 on Sunday morning. The home was fully engulfed by the time that the firefighters got there, and the flames were through the roof. The 2 people living there were able to escape. It took crews from 4 different cities hours to put the fire out in sub-zero temperatures.
The FM diversion is getting the green light from the Army Corps of Engineers.
The commander of the St. Paul district says the Corps found no significant impact from the latest environmental impact study of Plan B. That study, called the Final Assessment Number 2, looked at changes to the project that followed recommendations from a task force put together by the governors of both states. The Diversion Authority plans to meet with landowners and begin land acquisition this spring. When complete, the diversion would protect more than 200,000 people and 70 square miles of infrastructure in Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, Horace, and Harwood.
And it should be a little breezy, you were saying today, right, Terry?
Yeah, not as windy as yesterday, but enough to notice the wind out there as you're stepping out the door. Things are pretty quiet, though. Overall, just kind of looking across some of our tower cams, starting to get a little bit light out this morning. Kind of makes me happy that this early, seeing a little bit of that. So maybe things will change coming up here and in the next week. But as we look ahead across the region, satellite radar, things are pretty quiet. Just a few clouds mixed with the clear sky around the valley. I was just checking out the DOT maps, looking at maybe some partially covered roads in parts of Minnesota, but the area circle here across south central North Dakota, there's still a few areas saying no travel advised and some snowy roads. I'll be keeping an eye on that this morning. Just a heads up there. Check out the DOT map, pretty easy to access on our website, inforum.com. Click on the weather tab, and then right there you can see the road maps for us, just on those links. But overall, a quieter day. I think those road conditions will improve here throughout the day, but we are going to be dealing with a breeze still out of the northwest. You can see that here. What I'll be talking about next when I come back, I'll give you the walk the dog forecast, just a closer look at what's going out there this morning.
We could soon know more about several historic tribal sites around the state of North Dakota.
Coming up, we'll tell you about the bill being discussed in the legislature and why one committee doesn't want it to pass.
Denny's new Super Slampler. Bacon, eggs, French toast, and buttermilk pancakes for $5.99.
$5.99? Are you out of your mind? Why are we still out of our minds?
Denny's new Super Slampler, all for $5.99.
It's time to get a better night's sleep on a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Conlin Sleep Center. Beauty Rest Black mattresses provide unparalleled support, conforming to your body's shape and pressure points. It's never too late. Get the sleep you deserve for as little as $30 a month. Plus, ask about 60-month special financing. Let Conlin Sleep Center help you save and get the rest you need with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress for as little as $30 a month. Conlin Sleep Center, your mattress headquarters for restful sleep.
Big spring bonus savings are back now for a limited time. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today and get an extra $1,000 in spring bonus savings. Don't miss out. F-150 tows and hauls more than any other truck in its class, while Super Duty gives you a monstrous best-in-class 450 max horsepower. That's why F-Series have been America's best-selling trucks 42 straight years. Now get over $10,000 in total savings or lease an F-150 for just $259 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
At Midas, with every oil change, you get a free tire rotation.
Makes me feel like a king. Oh. King for a day. Well, maybe not the whole day. Oop, hey, whoa.
Our $19.99 or $49.99 oil change includes a tire rotation.
I'm a martial artist, a skydiver, a pilot, and all of them require your feet to work. Get up in the morning, and it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heel. When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was personalized. It was all about me. You put in the arch supports, and your day becomes better, and the sun shines, the unicorns run by, and, you know, it's a good life. I'm Randy, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
She's a superhero and an Oscar winner. Not bad. This week, Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, flies into GMA live. Plus, Adam's about to take you way behind the scenes of Queer Eye. And it's the new Kids on the Block in an epic throwback concert this week on GMA.
Denny's understands the art of the omelet, the perfect ingredients, the fold of the eggs. Their new flavors are oh la la. That means super yummy. Denny's new omelet lineup, starting at $6.99.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, kind of a quieter start to the day, but there is a little breeze kind of lingering around. We have a mix of some clear sky and some clouds surrounding the valley, fairly clear across much of North Dakota. Temps out there this morning are going to be walking outside to mainly some lower single digits. Some of us just a little bit sub-zero out there. Devil's Lake at 3 below. That's the colder spot on the map here. Fargo at 4, got 6 in Grand Forks. And most of the valley just a little bit on the breezy side. Not as windy as yesterday, but still over that breeze lingering around. And just a few recent wind gusts up into the 20s. Not a whole lot to report there with the wind gusts like yesterday, but it's just enough to notice. And the wind trend today, I think, will stay pretty breezy throughout the morning into early afternoon, and then we'll see that slowly kind of backing off later on. But it's chilly again, not as cold as what we've had, but still chilly. We'll have a lot of us in those teens below zero, some of us into some 20s below. That walk the dog forecast this morning, we have Ballerina. This is sent in by Lacey. So that is our picture of our dog of the morning anyway. So thanks for sending that in. If you ever want to send in your dog photos to have them featured here on the Walk the Dog forecast, you can email them to weather@wday.com or send them to my email. But temperature trend today, chilly this morning, this afternoon. We'll be heading into some teens with a little bit of that breeze. So we'll be a little bit cold out there for those pups, but not as cold as what we had, especially by the temperatures that we had on Sunday. When I come back next, I'll talk more about your travel weather around the region here. Quiet midweek for the most part, with a chance of some snow on Saturday and Sunday.
The embattled Chinese tech company Huawei intends to file a lawsuit against the American government. The company is fighting a law that bans U.S. federal agencies from buying Huawei products. The news came in 2 separate reports yesterday in the New York Times and the Financial Times. Huawei declined to comment on the matter. In its lawsuit, it'll claim that the National Defense Authorization Act violates the U.S. Constitution by singling out a single individual or group for punishment without trial. The legislation, which was passed in August, specifically forbids government agencies from using technology from Huawei and its smaller Chinese rival ZTE.
New York U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez opened an office in Queens. Ocasio-Cortez says that they were forced to seek a new building after the landlord for the previous congressman's office hiked the rent by almost 100% to about $15,000 a month. She said she and her staff wanted to save on the office rent so she could pay her entry-level staff a, quote, living wage. Ocasio-Cortez represents part of the Bronx and Queens.
The city of Grand Forks is continuing to line up contractors in preparation for spring flooding. The city council discussed a bid from a contractor for $390,000. The money could go toward work before, during, and after a flood. The city isn't automatically paying the money out, but instead has them ready if there is rising water.
Kind of a standby contract, and so we won't be authorizing expenditures of $300,000+. We'll just be having the contract available.
The city starts filling gaps in levees around 45 feet.
A bill to study tribal and historic sites around North Dakota is headed for the House. Despite a do not pass recommendation from the Natural Resource Committee, the Senate passed the resolution 4017. It's a bill citing the study of historic sites around the state for preservation. Lawmakers have been in conversation with the Spirit Lake Nation tribal officials to explain the significance of some sites. The resolution will now be debated in the House.
Well, you're not the only one who's ready for warmer weather as city crews scramble to repair water mains. We'll tell you how many more water main breaks Fargo could see this month and why crews say the frigid weather isn't helping.
This is Dennis Polisky reminding you the Grand Forks Area Equipment and Truck Auction has been rescheduled to March 29th, giving you extra time to make your buy or sell decisions. You have a host of opportunities to sell your no longer needed unit, but none will bring you the results we're known for. The auction is well promoted, well known, and held in an environment that makes our buyers more focused. Great program, great facility, most important, great results. Once again, the auction is March 29, ad deadline March 6. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Disney on Ice presents Worlds of Enchantment. Your Toy Story friends take fun to infinity and beyond. The Little Mermaid shows you all of the wonders under the sea. The Cars take you on a race around the track. And Anna, Elsa, and Olaf take you on a magical journey through the frozen world of Arendelle. See 4 fantastic Disney adventures in one amazing ice show.
Opening night tickets start at $15, playing at Fargo Dome this Thursday through Sunday. Get your tickets today at DisneyOnIce.com.
Get our best-selling styles at unbeatable prices during our bestseller event at Unclaimed Freight Furniture. Shop now and save 20% on leather power reclining sofas, only $9.99. Or this best-selling sectional, just $8.99. Plus, get your choice of 4 years no-interest financing or an extra 15% bonus saving. Find unbeatable deals on favorite styles, 6-piece queen bed and collections, only $8.99. Or save 40% on this 5-piece dining set, now only $5.99. Our lowest prices ever during the bestseller event at UnclaimedFreightFurniture.com.
Unlimited data means no limits on you. Download faster, reach further, and dream bigger. Cable One, high-speed internet, comes home.
WDAY Sports brings you live action from the 2019 North Dakota Class A Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament from the Bismarck Event Center. Boys quarterfinals tip off Thursday at 2 on WDAY Extra, with the girls game streaming at 1 on Inform.com. Semifinal Friday begins at 1 on ABC. Then on Saturday, it's the girls championship at 6 and the boys title game at 8, all on ABC. For full coverage of Class A basketball, watch WDAY Sports.
The news is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops.
Some of the Americans killed Sunday in a helicopter crash in Kenya are now being identified. Authorities don't know the cause of the crash, but they have ordered an investigation. Anders Asher Josiah Burke was one of the 4 American tourists who died when the chopper went down on Kenya's northern border. The U.S. Embassy also identified Cal Forty as a victim. He was a Republican campaign manager in Colorado. A 3rd American has also been identified as Brandon Strapper. 3 of the 4 American fatalities had connections to the San Diego area. The Kenyan chopper pilot was also killed.
And sump pump leaks aren't the only thing to keep an eye out for. Crews are also warning about the possibility of a boost of water main breaks. Changes in temperatures are partially to blame there. They dealt with another one in Fargo yesterday, this one on 7th Avenue North. Fargo Public Works crews say March is historically one of the busier months for water main breaks. They say they're just ready for the warmer weather. And Anvik says we could see up to 15 more breaks this month alone. And a dual U.S. and Saudi citizen has been beaten, tortured, and remains jailed in Saudi Arabia. That's according to a source familiar with the fate of Dr. Walid Fatahi. He's been held for more than a year. He's a Harvard-educated doctor with more than a decade in medical practice in the United States. He went to Saudi Arabia to become the head of a hospital there, but in 2017, he was arrested along with dozens of other Saudi princes and businessmen accused of corruption. His lawyer says he was transferred to jail without due process and wrote to the U.S. State Department this past January pleading for help. The State Department says it has raised the case with Saudi Arabia.
And Kanye West is suing his record label, saying his contract is illegal. Language in his contract with the label Electric and Music Industries, or EMI, actually prevents him from going into retirement. It says, quote, "At no time will you seek to retire as a songwriter, recording artist, or producer, or take any extended hiatus." The contract language was revealed as part of the lawsuit.
MnDOT will be paying a visit to Moorhead in just a couple of hours to discuss Governor Tim Walz's transportation budget proposal. Department Commissioner Margaret Kelleher will be at the fire station this morning at 10:30. Her conference could have some major implications here in Moorhead. She could officially announce funding for the proposed 11th Street underpass. Those at the fire station say that would help alleviate some major train delays.
It's important to us specifically as the fire department because in the last 5 years we've had over 600 calls, emergency calls, where we can't go south from our fire station and we're delayed by minutes to get to somebody in a critical situation.
Fire Chief Doyson, Mayor Jonathan Judd, and downtown Moorhead President Derek LaPointe will join Kelleher.
And turning to Jared now, it's nice to not have to deal with snow this morning.
Yeah, a little quieter start out there for much there, but still a little bit of that breeze lingering around. I was just checking out the DOT maps. You're going to be traveling out across south central to southeastern parts of North Dakota. Still a few roads out there showing no travel advised. I think this is because of all the blowing and drifting yesterday. Those road conditions have been improving. Been keeping an eye on that throughout the morning, but just keep that in mind over south central parts of North Dakota. There may be some drifts out on some of those roads, and it is still a little bit breezy, so there may be some minor blowing out there in the open areas, but for the most part the winds are going to be a little bit less than what they were yesterday, so I don't think it'll be as big an issue for us, and really not a whole lot of recent wind gusts. One up to 28 miles per hour recently in Garrison for us. Wind trend today, got that higher profile vehicle. You may notice just a little bit of that breeze out on the roads. We're going to be having those winds sustained kind of in those teens, and then those should back off as we head toward the evening. Also, that wind is making it feel a little chillier. Much of North Dakota feeling like teens and 20s below. The valley, mainly some teens below zero for our wind chills at the moment. And satellite radar, really not much to show you out there. Some of us have some clear sky, others a little bit more cloud cover. As we continue throughout the day, we'll stay a little bit breezy, but just looking ahead here over the next few days, high pressure will be kind of drifting through the region. It is a cooler air mass, but it should bring some pretty quiet weather throughout midweek, meaning today, tomorrow, as well as Thursday, staying rather quiet for our forecast. What I'll talk about next, still a little bit breezy out there this morning, staying pretty chilly, and I'll give more forecast details ahead.
Students at Fargo North High School will be getting a realistic look today at what it's like to live in poverty.
Coming up, we'll tell you about the simulation that will be giving them a whole new perspective on what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck.
Hey, Tom.
Sheila. Hey, don't take losing the Anderson business personally.
I resigned it, Tom. I guess they didn't tell you about their opossum problem.
I thought it was pronounced possum. Our Hillshire Farm craftsmen start the day slow roasting turkey for incredible flavor. Then they double seal every slice for freshness. The results, well, they speak for themselves.
Powerful and playful. Delicate and precise. Bold and carefree. It's the way you move, and it moves us. To deliver care for your whole family, to provide options beyond the expected, to help you leave pain in the past and find your way forward. Orthopedics and sports medicine at Sanford Health. Health lives here.
Your business has to stand above the rest. Your brand must stand out. Your apparel needs to set you apart. Your signage must grab the consumer's attention. Signature Graphics and Apparel creates the brand power that puts you at the top. Signature Graphics and Apparel was built by branding professionals. 50 years of combined experience builds the brand that powers success. Build your brand on your vehicle, your apparel, and your signage. Signature Graphics and Apparel, building powerful brands for the successful.
Are you at a place in life where you're wondering about God and spiritual matters? Well, maybe the Bible has the answers you're looking for. It's our Creator's instruction manual on life. Please email me at the address below and we'll study it together.
At Schwabel, Getz & Sieben, our most important value is our commitment to our clients.
I chose Schwabel, Getz & Sieben because from the start I could tell that they cared about me.
After my initial conversation with Jim, I was immediately at ease. I knew that I was going to be in great hands.
They took the worry off my shoulders.
They listened to me, and I knew that I could trust them.
Representing accident victims for over 40 years, Schwabel, Getz & Sieben.
Fantastic firm, fantastic people. They stood behind me 100%.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, starting off a little bit quieter, although just checking out the DOT maps over parts of North Dakota there, mainly in the south central. Looks like maybe a few of those rural roads may just be down to around 1 lane or so, just due to some of the blowing and drifting yesterday. Otherwise, roads have been improving, just looking at the DOT maps, just slowly throughout the morning. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, today, starting off kind of a hit or miss with the clear sky. I think that'll be the case throughout the day. Got this pause later on this evening. Overall, quiet weather for today, tomorrow, as well as Thursday as high pressure drifts through the region. That's just going to keep us pretty mild, but just chilly. So really not a whole lot going on with our weather anyway. Temperatures, we're going to be hanging out here in some lower single digits this morning. Some of us a little bit sub-zero, 2 below right now in Fergus Falls. We have 4 in Fargo, 3 below in Devil's Lake, 6 in Grand Forks. Grand Forks is one of the warmer spots, but really shouldn't use that word warm since still a little bit of that breeze outside out of the northwest. That's making it feel colder. Well, I think we'll have that wind sticking around throughout the morning hours into the afternoon. Then it looks like it'll slowly back off as we head toward that evening drive home. Today's high temperatures, we're going to warm up into some teens. Keep in mind our average high temperatures for this time of year, upper 20s. So we're still well below average, but compared to the cold Sunday that we had a couple days ago, this will feel a little bit warmer out there. And then tomorrow's high temperatures will be pretty similar. Actually, today, tomorrow, and Thursday looking pretty similar for high temps. And we'll get some sunshine along the way here at some points of the day. I think we'll have a little bit of cloud cover. Kind of breezy for today. Pretty quiet one for tomorrow and Thursday. We'll have some chillier starts. Friday, shot at some lower 20s. There is a shot of some snow over the weekend. Looks like a little stronger system will move on to the plains as we head into Saturday, and that could bring some snow to our region. We are really going to keep a close eye on that one because that could have a little bit of moisture with it, which could mean maybe a little bit of heavier snow if it does come up to our area. So just stay tuned for that. If any changes, this has been kind of flip-flopping, maybe a little bit farther toward our south or may end up really coming at us. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye on for the weekend. So right now, just saying a chance for some snow. In the meantime, some quieter, chillier days for the next 3 ahead before we warm up just in time for the weekend. Bus stop forecast is coming up next. Kind of chilly and breezy out there.
Well, after a string of deadly tornadoes in Alabama and Georgia, many may be wondering when we could see our first tornado.
Storm Tracker meteorologist Andrew Whitmire joins us now with when our region typically experiences severe weather. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Sarah and Rob. And we all know once the snow melts, severe weather season will be on our minds, especially us weather nerds. But in North Dakota and Minnesota, we typically see our peak tornado season ramping up once we get into the June month here. Take a look at this graphic behind me, and you can see these numbers here really start to spike once we get into those summer months here, the 60-year period. From 1950 to 2010, we see nearly 520 tornadoes within that 60-year period in North Dakota in June. And on the Minnesota side, 605 tornadoes have occurred in June, and that is where we will see that peak tornado season picking up here in the northern plains once we get into those summer months. Now, coming up in tomorrow's Weather Wednesday, we'll take a look at the earliest recorded tornado in Minnesota state history, which took place on March 6, 2017.
And the new Altru Performance Center is now open, and therapy patients can start getting help and comfort. The All True Performance Center opened yesterday, and this is a look at the sensory gym for kids. The building is for physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Children with special needs have 5 additional rooms for treatment.
This facility gave us an opportunity to both improve the efficiency and flow of our services, as well as expand our services. Our pediatric therapy department is rapidly growing.
The Performance Center is located across the street from the hospital.
When it comes to health problems, it's tempting to blame our genes, but maybe we should be looking at our location as well. A recent study conducted by researchers at Harvard Medical School and the University of Queensland studied over 50,000 sets of twins. They have shared genes and a shared home. They checked out over 500 diseases. Whether you were rich or poor, the climate and air pollution were found to be less important than genes, lifestyle choices, or the neighborhood that you grow up in. Obesity was most influenced by lifestyle and socioeconomic status.
The 6th annual Fargo Area One Act Festival continues today, turning rivals into supporters. More than 150 high school students from the area came to the event at Fargo North for the first day yesterday to showcase their skills. Students performed one-act plays and musical ensembles for each other and played inter-school theater games. Organizers say the festival brings students together and creates a feeling of community between students from different schools.
Seeing one school perform and hearing all the kids from the other schools just freaking out, so excited, bursting out in applause and laughing and really enjoying each other's work.
The students who are participating in the festival are from North, South, Davies, and Cheyenne. And students at Fargo North will take a walk in each other's shoes today. Juniors will take part in a poverty simulation. Each student will be given a scenario. They include a problem to struggle through that might occur in real life. The goal is to help students empathize with others their age and in the community that use community resources to battle poverty. Approximately 15% of people live below the poverty line in Fargo. And the Bison are now back on home turf this morning after a whirlwind visit to the White House. And the president left the former NDSU quarterback Easton Stick with a new nickname. It was the last public appearance for Easton Stick as a member of NDSU's team. It'll now forever be remembered by his buddies, thanks to 2 words from President Trump. In front of the Bison team and national news outlets, he turned to Stick and said, "Tom Brady." Trump said, quote, "You've got the look, too." Stick, meanwhile, just finished competing at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, earning some of the top stats in Combine history.
Before making the trip to the Xcel Energy Center for the state hockey tournament, the Moorhead boys hockey team had some business to take care of. It's a tradition that they've started this season. About 5 members of the squad found out that a few friends in school were holding watch parties of The Bachelor, and they asked to join in. They even started a hashtag #DoItForDemi in support of contestant Demi Burnett. She actually got wind of it and has responded to them a few times. The players say the tradition is a great way to relieve stress and have a little fun.
The guys can talk about something in the locker room besides hockey. Like we talk about who's going to be getting kicked off this week or something like that. But yeah, it definitely helps with bonding for sure. Hang out with our friends a little bit more and make sure that we enjoy our senior year. And this is just a place where we can do that and hang out with people.
The Spuds will take on Edna on Thursday in the quarterfinals.
And a comedian is now on the run from the law.
We'll tell you why Cat Williams now has a $10,000 price on his head.
Get 10 medium slider windows with exterior finish completely installed for only $62.40, plus 0% financing for well-qualified buyers.
Window World of Fargo.
Not only do we stand behind our windows,
we stand on them.
We want to stay connected, to share small moments and breakthrough ideas. We want to travel from point A to B in hours, not weeks. Big trucks with big tires for big jobs. We want the temperature to go up when it goes down. Creature comforts, we want them. And we want to continue elevating the quality of life for North Dakotans and the rest of the country. The innovations responsibly producing oil and natural gas make it possible. We are the energy of North Dakota.
When I was in 8th grade is when I lost my hearing. I had been testing hearing aids all over, and right across the parking lot was Miracle Ear. So I went over to Miracle Ear. About 2 months I came back and I said, I'm 100% satisfied. And for my family members, a big difference now. and they're smiling because Daddy can hear now. And he's hearing the whole story and not just part of it.
Everyday fashion for every woman. We know women can be absolutely anything. Everyday heroes and leaders. Be a boss. Stand out. Wear your accessories as statements and show your strength. Each moment is a new opportunity to shine. Make it happen with Clothes Mentors brand name fashions at resale prices.
It's Kelly and Ryan here from the Kelly and Ryan show.
Next live, Julianne Moore. Plus, Brandon Michael Hall and Michael Ray performs.
The next winter storm is going to be Winter Storm Ryan.
No, really?
I may have to cover my storm.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. on WDAY WDAZ.
Get 10 double hung windows with exterior finish completely installed for only $55.40, plus 0% financing for well-qualified buyers.
Window World of Fargo.
Not only do we stand behind our windows,
we stand on them.
The news is brought to you by Home of Economy Grand Forks.
This morning, as they're getting the kids ready to head out to the bus stop, it's going to be another chilly one out there this morning. We're still going to be dealing with a little bit of breeze. I think we'll get a little mix of sun and clouds here throughout the day. And it'll be kind of cool. A lot of us are in those lower single digits right now. A select few of us are a little bit sub-zero. So I'd say it's kind of chilly here to kick off your morning. And this afternoon, we're going to be in some lower teens, still a little bit breezy. Not as much wind as yesterday, so I don't think we're going to be dealing with that blowing and drifting snow kind of like we had. And we had a couple little bursts of snow showers yesterday, too. Temps out there this morning, as I mentioned, mainly some lower single digits with some of us a little bit sub-zero, a little bit breezy. Winds are out of the northwest here, and generally they'll be out of the west, northwest, or northwest throughout the day, roughly around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Makes it feel kind of cold out there. We are feeling like some teens below kind of surrounding the valley, but overall things are pretty quiet out across much of the area looking at the satellite radar. When I come back next, I'll show you a future cast, the little breeze throughout the day here. We've got some pretty quiet weather for us throughout midweek.
Dragon basketball fans combined chicken wings and camaraderie as they cheered on their favorite team. The MSUM women's basketball team played Sioux Falls yesterday afternoon at the semifinals for the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Tournament. Some loyal Dragons held this watch party at Buffalo Wild Wings in Moorhead. Fans say it's an exciting time to cheer for the Dragons.
There's a warrant out this morning for the comedian Cat Williams. Williams failed to appear in court yesterday on charges of assault. He's accused of punching a chauffeur at Portland International Airport back in October because his dog wasn't allowed to ride in the front seat. In addition to the assault charge, he's facing 1 count of harassment. The judge set the bail for his warrant at $10,000. And we're learning more this morning about the man who stabbed another man in Moorhead last night. Coming up, we'll tell you what we know about his identity and the latest on the condition of the victim. And Jared's in next with a look at what we can expect in our upcoming forecast.
Are we lost in our ways? We believe in a change. In our dreams, nothing stays, but we dream just the same.
Fourth and goal, Danny. What you call? Run. Nope. Pass? Nah, we're gonna do both. Like this quesadilla taco. It's 2 favorites together in 1 unbeatable play. It's the perfect call.
Half quesadilla, half taco, and 100% craveable. Our new quesadilla tacos feature 4 bold flavors wrapped inside a cheesy, chewy quesadilla shell. Only the day at Taco John's.
Run and pass. And Danny, Olay the day.
We're not just open to new ideas. We're obsessed with them. That's why we like growers with an edge. The kind who think big, work smart, and go all out to break new ground. The ones who stand out as a different breed. Our canola seed, it's a different breed too. So, if we're all hungry for change, what are we waiting for? Let's make it. Fargo canola, a different breed.
At North Dakota State University, you'll find a different kind of education. It's where you'll get your hands on groundbreaking research and experience your education. It's where you'll meet students and faculty from all over the world. It's where you'll discover exciting opportunities and still feel right at home. This is North Dakota State University, and this is where you belong. Start your experience at ndsu.edu.
Are we lost in our way? We believe in a change. In our dreams, nothing stays, but we dream just the same.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, kind of quiet out there to kick off your Tuesday morning. Just kind of a mix of some clear sky, mainly through central parts of North Dakota, with a little bit of cloud cover surrounding the valley. Maybe a couple snowflakes on the Minnesota side, just underneath some of those clouds, but nothing accumulating. Just notice that there may be a couple snowflakes falling there. As we head throughout the day here, it's going to be just a little bit on the breezy side, not as windy as yesterday. Tomorrow, pretty quiet day. High pressure will be slowly sliding into the region. That's going to keep our weather a little bit cool here throughout midweek, but overall very quiet weather. Things will change though as we head toward the weekend once the system pushes off toward the east, meaning this area of high pressure, which is just dry, stable weather. Once that pushes off toward the east, allow for a little bit warmer air for Friday into Saturday, and that could lead to some snow as we look toward Saturday. A little bit breezy, as I mentioned here this morning for much of North Dakota and surrounding the valley. Sustained winds in the mid-teens there for some of us, and I think it'll stick around throughout the morning into the afternoon, and then by the evening hours, I think those winds will slowly be kind of backing off. Wind chills, not as cold as what we've had, but enough that you need hat and mittens out there this morning, and since we're in the teens and 20s below, kind of surrounding the area. It's just going to be a cold one to kick off the morning. Not as cold as what we've had, but still, this is chilly. Single digits both above and below zero surrounding the valley this morning. And in the southern half of the valley, we should get up to some teens this afternoon. With kind of a mix of some sun and clouds in northern half of the valley, looking very similar with our temperature trend out there, starting off lower single digits and up to those lower teens for today. Fargo at 13 and breezy today, 11 tomorrow, 13 on Thursday. Could be a cold start there to your Thursday, dropping down below zero for a while. And then over the weekend, we're going to be keeping a close eye, and a system looks like it's going to move on to the plains. Could bring some snow to our region on Saturday. Could warm up with that snow on Saturday to near freezing. It's been a while since January 7th since we've actually been above freezing. So we'll see if we can hit that. But in the meantime, I would focus on the weekend here, since we're at pretty stable, quiet weather midweek, just kind of cool. But the weekend will be a little bit warmer with that shot of snow. I'll be talking more about that weekend forecast, kind of go over a little bit more of that in just a little bit.
Tornadoes in Alabama and Georgia have left a trail of death and destruction as crews continue to search for more survivors this morning.
And Storm Tracker meteorologist Andrew Whitmire is joining us in studio this morning with when the nation last saw a storm of that magnitude. Good morning, Andrew.
And good morning, Sarah and Rob. Sunday was the deadliest U.S. tornado day in nearly 6 years. The death toll from Sunday is the largest from tornadoes in a single day since the Moore, Oklahoma EF5 tornado killed 24 people on May 20th, 2013. And in fact, this is now the deadliest tornado year since 2017, where 35 people died from tornadoes that year. Now let's take a look at the devastation from Alabama and portions of the Deep South, where the death toll now stands at 23 after at least a dozen tornadoes ripped through parts of Alabama and Georgia on Sunday, and that number is still expected to rise. Now the EF4 tornado that passed through Lee County, Alabama, is believed to have brought wind speeds of near 170 miles per hour, and it was about a mile wide and crossed an area of land spanning over 60 miles. And along the way, it picked up mobile homes and debris and threw them hundreds of yards away. It has now been officially named the worst natural disaster that has ever occurred in that area. Now, in tomorrow's Weather Wednesday, I'll break down the earliest recorded tornado in Minnesota state's history, which took place on March 6, 2017. Robin, Sarah?
Thank you, Andrew. And new this morning, the suspect arrested in connection with a Moorhead stabbing yesterday has been identified. Police arrested this man, 27-year-old Nicholas James Herner. He's facing charges of second-degree assault. It all started when police were called out to a neighborhood just south of Ellen Hopkins Elementary after 8:30 last night. When police got there, officers found a man who had been stabbed several times. He was taken to Sanford in Fargo. Police say Herner and the victim knew each other but we don't know how the victim is doing.
Grand Forks police are sending out a safety reminder this morning after an 8-year-old girl was hit by a car last night. It happened in the Little Caesars parking lot after 7 o'clock last night. Police say the girl was walking with her family when she stepped out in front of a car from between vehicles. The driver tried to avoid her but knocked her to the ground. Luckily, they were going very slow and no one was hurt, and the vehicle actually wasn't damaged. Officers say it is important to take your time while walking and be aware of your surroundings.
The House Judiciary Committee has issued demands for documents for more than 80 relatives, aides, and associates of the president. The requests include President Trump's own family members, top White House officials, and other close advisors, past and present. Organizations tied to the president are also being targeted in the probe, as well as companies and other groups that may have aided President Trump's campaign. The White House signaled it won't be complying with the document demands, saying in a statement, quote, "The fact Chairman Nadler would try to force this public disclosure of private conversations that he knows are protected by law proves he only wants to play politics."
2 men will be waking up in prison this morning for their roles in an attempted robbery that resulted in 1 man being killed. It's a story that we've been following since September.
23-year-old Robert Pidal is being sentenced to 2 years in prison. 19-year-old Jordan Plouffe will spend 4 years in prison on charges of conspiring to commit robbery and terrorizing. It stems from a botched attempted robbery at the Fargo Hotel in September. During the robbery, Alan Baer stabbed 23-year-old Jacob Dirks of West Fargo. Pidal was with Baer at the time. Dirks later died. An investigation discovered Baer was acting in self-defense. Court documents say Dirks believed Alan and his brother Sean Baer stole $10,000 from him. Plouffe was linked to the crime through phone records.
A Minnesota man remains in jail this morning after being accused of setting a Breckenridge home on fire over the weekend. WDAY went through the Wilkin County jail roster, and the only person listed on arson charges is this man, 30-year-old Solomon Weirman. Police tell us they arrested a man who was a resident of the house shortly after the fire. WDAY News learned from Breckenridge police they were called to the fire at about 7:30 and found 1 room on fire. They were able to put the fire out quickly. A criminal complaint is expected to be filed soon. And the Fargo Library is hosting a discussion on human rights. Coming up, we'll tell you how you can take part in the Human Rights and Arts Festival this evening.
And Jared will be back to give us a look at our forecast and some snow that could be on the horizon.
Your trusted companion, your playmate, a member of your family. Your dog deserves the balanced diet vets choose for their own pets. Taste of the Wild. No grains or fillers here. Taste of the Wild is made with only premium ingredients that are based on your pet's natural diet. Complete and formulated for all stages of life. Taste of the Wild, the balanced diet nature intended.
Home of economy, where your dollar buys more.
Big spring bonus savings are back now for a limited time. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today and get an extra $1,000 in spring bonus savings. Don't miss out. F-150 tows and hauls more than any other truck in its class, while Super Duty gives you a monstrous best-in-class 450 max horsepower. That's why F-Series have been America's best-selling trucks 42 straight years. Now get over $10,000 in total savings or lease an F-150 for just $259 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Soft spots are the #1 complaint consumers have about their beds today. Most mattresses are made out of cheap foam that begins losing support immediately, developing soft spots. You can't see them, but you can feel them. The problem is, their warranties only cover sag, not loss of support. So if they don't cover soft spots, they're worthless. We're the only company in the world with patented technology that accurately measures support at key areas of your mattress. We cover what matters. The soft spot warranty from Comfort King.
Disney on Ice presents Worlds of Enchantment. See stars from Disney's Frozen, Cars, The Little Mermaid, and Toy Story.
Get your tickets today, playing at Fargo Dome this Thursday through Sunday. For tickets and more information, visit DisneyOnIce.com.
Like it or not, evil followed me right there.
Friday night.
Could this doctor have ordered the murder of his ex-girlfriend's lover?
The deadly love triangle. And now the stunning new twist in Deadly Dance in Texas, the 2020 event.
The news is brought to you by Pure Chiropractic and Rehab.
The Raging Red Band Festival starts today at NDSU. Dozens of high school bands will gather at the School of Music over the next 2 days. They'll perform in Festival Concert Hall and get pointers from nationally recognized adjudicators. The adjudicators will then work with the bands individually. The NDSU Wind Symphony will also put on a concert for the students.
And the North Dakota Human Rights and Arts Festival will host a community conversation tonight at the Downtown Library in Fargo. The public is invited to attend. They'll be discussing what community changes can be made to address human rights and social justice issues presented at the 2018 festival. And they'll also discuss what issues should be the focus of the Fargo screenings of the 2019 festival. It starts at 6:30. Light refreshments will be served.
And the Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals invites everyone to the Chili and Curling Social tonight. It's free for members and $10 for non-members. The fun starts at 7 o'clock at the Grand Forks Curling Club. You'll get food, drinks, equipment rental, and ice time. If you're new to the sport, no worries. People will be on hand to give lessons.
And while we're talking about a slight warm-up, you're talking about the possibility of snow, Jared.
Yeah, that'll be sliding into our forecast here. We want to stick with the curling theme. That looks like it is going to head our direction as we look toward Saturday. But right now, things are pretty quiet. A little quieter than yesterday. Across parts of the area, we have some fairly clear sky in North Dakota. For the valley, just kind of a mix of some clear sky and some clouds. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday, very stable weather for the most part here as high pressure will be drifting through the region. So really not a whole lot to show you with Futurecast, as we'll be dodging some snow to our south. And for us up here, just quiet. It's just going to stay kind of cool for us. So that weekend forecast, that's when things change a little bit. Once this cooler air mass moves on out, we'll get a little bit warmer by Friday. We should get in some lower 20s, may start to cloud up a little bit more. There's a system, looks like it's going to move out of the Rockies, onto the Central Plains around Saturday. And we're going to be on the northern tier of that. And it looks like some snow could kind of develop and move into our area. Could get a little bit warmer up here as well. We could be just a little bit warmer over the weekend, but we'll have a shot at some snow. I'd keep an eye on this if you have any travel plans for the weekend, as it looks like, or as of right now, this may end up heading toward our area. Models have been a little inconsistent, sometimes keeping a little bit farther to the south of us. Otherwise, I would say still bank on a little bit of snow heading our direction. We'll stay on top of it here throughout the week for you. We'll come back next, talk about more what you can expect as you walk out the door.
All right, in just a couple minutes, we'll take one last look at that forecast.
And we'll tell you what you need to know before you leave the house this morning.
Gordman's is kicking off our 2019 grand opening tour. New stores are popping up all over, and we're celebrating all month long with new trends, decor, and giveaways too. This party is where frugal meets fierce. Bigger deals, smaller prices. Hashtag got it at Gordman's.
Get free pad at the Carpet Garage. For a limited time, for every square foot of in-stock carpet you buy, receive an equal amount of padding absolutely free, including Smart Strand Forever Clean from Mohawk. Smart Strand Forever Clean is the perfect carpet for families with kids and pets. Plus, it's the only carpet with permanent built-in stain and soil protection that won't wear or wash off. And the Carpet Garage stocks it at the lowest price in town. Guaranteed. Ask about special 12-month financing too. Free pad with any in-stock carpet purchase. Only at the Carpet Garage.
Jeff Foxworthy live on stage.
I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, hey, I just got a text that please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck.
Friday, March 22nd, Shooting Star Casino Hotel and Entertainment, Monoma.
She said, was he driving? Were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I don't know. I just got a text that please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck.
Tickets on sale now. Call 800-313-SHOW. Online at starcasino.com or at the Shooting Star box office.
She said, well, you don't know anything. What do you know? I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text that he was in a bad wreck.
Visit jefffoxworthy.com for more.
Paint? No, this isn't just paint. This is the most advanced one-coat coverage. Made with molecules that bond stronger, bond tighter, and bond tougher in one coat for beauty that starts and stays that way. Because this isn't just paint. This is Paramount.
Right now at Menards, get 11% off everything, including Pittsburgh Paramount paint.
It's Kelly and Ryan here.
from the Kelly and Ryan show.
Next live, Julianne Moore. Plus, Brandon Michael Hall and Michael Ray performs.
The next winter storm is going to be Winter Storm Ryan.
No, really?
I may have to cover my storm.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. on WDAY WDAZ.
Fun news, Gordman shoppers. G Rewards is now Style Circle Rewards. That's a $5 payback reward for every 100 points earned, and double points for store card holders every day. And points count at Stage stores and Stage.com too. Bigger deals, smaller prices. Hashtag got it at Gordman's.
Kirsten Keeley, WDAY News.
This morning, a little quieter start to the day. We are going to have a little breeze out there, but just not as much wind as yesterday, so we're not going to have that blowing and drifting snow. Checking out the view over Fargo Moorhead, we do have some clouds and some clear sky. It's just a little bit on the cool side this morning. As I mentioned, just some clouds and some clear sky. Most of North Dakota is waking up pretty clear, but a quiet day. Just a little breeze out there out of the northwest. Sustained winds right around those mid-teens. Maybe a little bit more wind for western and southwestern North Dakota. And I think that breeze will stick around this morning into the afternoon, and by this evening, we'll slowly start to see that kind of moving on out. But it is keeping us a little cooler. Kids out at the bus stop this morning, we're still going to be in the teens below zero for those wind chills. So hat, gloves, mittens here to kick off the day. This afternoon, we warm up into some mid-teens for highs, and then tomorrow looking to be pretty similar, with a few of us maybe only some single digits to some teens. As we check out that 7-day forecast for you, midweek weather is looking to be pretty quiet out there. 13, a little bit breezy as we look ahead toward tomorrow. Some sunshine up to 11. Thursday, sunshine up to 13, and as we look toward Friday, a few more clouds, 21. For the weekend, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the potential for some snow. Actually, could have some wind out there too, and maybe even be a little heavier wet snow. So that's what we'll be talking about here in the days ahead.
The temperatures look nice, but the chance of snow.
I know, we just can't escape it.
Yeah, I think I would take the warmer temps, though, with a little snow, as long as it melts. Thanks, Jared. And thanks for starting your day here with us on First News.
And don't forget to join us this evening, starting at 4 o'clock.